Hello and welcome to Charch Chat. I am Paul Charchian from LeagueSafe.com. Thanks for joining us here at Open Sports. It is the end of a week. That means it's time for a sneak attack running back style. And this is where we break down some of the players that aren't normally in your starting lineup, but for whatever reason have a good opportunity for some fantasy success this weekend. And from the running back position, I've got three guys for you. We begin with Kevin Smith going up against Indianapolis. I know it's hard to start any Detroit Lion, but this is a good opportunity as he faces the Colts. As bad as things have been for Detroit, Kevin Smith's run pretty well against some really tough opponents like last month, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Minnesota. It's a murderer's row of run defenses, and you know what? He's actually run pretty well. Now, not great fantasy stats, but not Cedric Benson either, and now he faces his best opportunity in a long time as he faces the Colts. They rank 25th against the run, which is a great opportunity for him, and they've allowed 16 rushing touchdowns as well, also very nice. Now, sure, the Colts do get Bob Sanders back, which is great, but they're also thin at the linebacker position, and they've been bad against the run even when Sanders has been in there. This isn't like a few years ago when they were this flip-a-switch run defense with or without Bob Sanders. Sanders is obviously important, but he's not so good that when he's in, you just can't start runners. So Kevin Smith, the guy that, probably not a running back one or running back two, but if you've got a flex position, he's going to make a lot of sense this weekend. Next, Sammy Morris of the Patriots goes up against the Oakland Raiders. This one's it sounds like it's not as enticing as I think it is. I think there's a very good opportunity for Morris. First, it's very hard to pass on the Raiders. The secondary is extremely good. They've been shutting out opposing quarterbacks of late. Not last week, but the prior games. And it's a good secondary. The path of least resistance is on the ground, and the Patriots will take some of that. If they can take some heat and pressure off of Matt Castle, they'll do it. Now, they do have the big running back by committee with the Patriots, but Sammy Morris is the guy that fantasy players want. The other guys are just, they're role players. They got their little spots here and there, but Morris is the guy who gets the ball at the goal line. He gets the hard yards. He gets the most carries. Falk is, in my mind, only a threat in PPR leagues, and that is it. Oakland ranks 30th against the run. They've given up 159 rushing yards per game, and they've given up 18 rushing touchdowns this year. So this is a very soft run defense for Oakland. Let's give Sammy Morris a go. Lastly, Dominic Rhodes, as he takes on the Detroit Lions. We already talked about the Lions side of this game. Now we're flipping over to the Dominic Rhodes side, and this is largely predicated on Joseph Adai's bad shoulder. I don't believe he's going to play, or if he does play, I think it'll be in very limited fashion. And frankly, Adai's been terrible. Even when the two are in the same backfield, Rhodes has looked better. So let's try Dominic Rhodes here. Detroit's defense is terrible. 173 rushing yards per game allowed. 23 rushing touchdowns allowed so far. You don't need me to tell you Detroit's bad. You already know all about that. Now, of note, the Colts have had a lot of easy matchups lately. Browns, Bengals, and they haven't turned that into a lot of fantasy points for their running game. But it's the Lions. It's at home. It just seems like a great opportunity for the Colts to get ahead early and just run out the ball. And again, if Adai doesn't play, Rhodes is just a lock. So there you go. Three different guys that you can try. Rhodes, we just mentioned. Sammy Morris, Kevin Smith, all guys that have a great opportunity this weekend. Best of luck in Week 15, undoubtedly a playoff week for pretty much everybody. Best of luck, and if you've got any further questions for those of us in the Open Sports Fantasy Department, send us an email, fantasy@opensports.com.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy@opensports.com.